guys, I'm so excited you're here, and thanks so much for taking my taxes class for spa professionals. In your course, you should be able to download your income and expense tracking worksheets, your instructions page, your tax workbook, file labels, and your business mileage log. So I want to encourage you to do that and print out those sheets. That way you can follow along with me. And also be aware that you can visit our Facebook page and ask any questions that you might have. Okay, let's get started. So first off, we're going to start tracking our income, right? So this is our income tracker. These sheets can not only be used to track your income, but also help you figure out how much you're making per hour. So what I've done here is I put the date, the person, just the first name of the person. So if I want to go back and look anything up on my scheduler, I can see who the service was for. I did a hot stone massage. The charge was $80. She tipped me $10 in cash. So my total income was $90. However, I spent 1.25 hours with setup and breakdown of the service. So it's an hour and 15 minutes. My expenses were $2.20 just for my credit card processing fee. So it gave me a profit of $87.80. And then if you take that and you divide it by 1.25, which is what how much time I spent setting up, doing the service, and then cleaning up afterwards, it makes my total profit. So I would take $87.80 and divide it by 1.25 equals $70.24 per hour on that particular service. Anyways, you just do the same thing on each line going down. Here's another one. Sandy, I did a senior massage for her. She wrote me a check for $55. There was no gratuity. So my total income was $55. I still spent 1.25 an hour and 15 minutes doing that service, setting up, breaking down. So I really didn't have any direct expenses. So my profit on that is still $55. Now, keep in mind that I'm not taking into consideration my space, rent, or laundry, or any of that other stuff. This is just kind of a ballpark of what you're making per service. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about how to track your expenses. And this comes in two sheets because there's lots of deductions that you can use for your business. Starts out with advertising. And I left these blocks up here blank. I used to have the months of the year in there, so you could just add everything a month at a time and then use this as your final spreadsheet. But I left those blank so you could do it by the week, by the day, however you wanted to do that. And then so you can just fill in those top rows however you like. But basically, we're just going to write down as we spend for the month what we're spending on each of these things. Sometimes dues and subscriptions, for example, you may have 3 or 4 different subscriptions or planned services that are due at different times of the month. So you can just fill those in as you pay them. We do ship out a lot of product here. And so my freight and postage is quite often, I'll have several days of the month where I'm printing postage or have freight charges. Insurance and office rent, those types of things, mostly you're going to pay by the month. But at my spot in particular, the girls here pay their rent by the week. So if you're one of those type of people where you do pay your space rent by the week, then you can just add that along right with everything else. Other office expenses might be things like having water delivered, or if you were to have maybe pest control come in to spray around the building, anything like that. Repairs to equipment. So let's say your copier breaks down and you have to send it out or call somebody in to have it repaired. You'd want to put those things there. I really want to encourage you to start making retirement contributions. It doesn't matter how young you are. Those things will just grow, and your older self will appreciate you for doing that. So make sure you are talking to somebody about what kind of a retirement savings plan that you can set up. I actually contribute to my retirement plan 2 to 3 different times per month, just depending on how my pay runs. Back bar purchases. That's anything that you're going to buy to do your services on your clients for. So that's your larger bottles of stuff that you work out of while you're doing services like facials, for example, lotions and creams for massage, anything like that. Wholesale for retail. This is stuff that you buy to resell. So whatever those wholesale purchases are, add those as the month goes. Returns and allowances. Anytime anybody returns a product or you have to refund a service price, you're going to make sure you're going to want to put that there. Packaging and materials, that kind of goes along with your freight and postage, but I single that out separately just so I can track how much I'm spending on my packaging. Travel expenses can all go there. Continuing education classes. Meals and entertainment. Same thing, gifts to clients. I quite often will give little sample sizes or trial sizes to my clients, especially if they're here celebrating a birthday with me or something else. Anytime you go to the store and you buy something for your spa, like let's say laundry soap, you have to pay retail for that, and you're paying tax on that. So that's considered non-recoverable sales tax. Cleaning supplies, personal protection equipment. I don't know necessarily that that'll need to be singled out, but there may be specific lines on our new tax forms that ask for what you're spending on PPE or personal protection equipment. Licenses, so that would be your professional license, your city or state business license, any of those kind of things. Cellular phone, only because I have been known to forget to include that in my utilities. I single my cellular phone out. That way I can put in there any regular reoccurring charges and then overages that I might have on my bill. Miles driven, we have a business miles log. And you can just, at the end of the month or as you go along, you can put your business miles in there. If you've bought anything that's large that you want to take the depreciation on, which means that over time you'll get rebates on your tax form for having that, like an automobile or things that have longer than a 2-year lifespan, you can add those things right in here. If you have employees, you can list their employee benefits there. And then laundry services. From time to time, if our washer breaks down, we might have to send our laundry out to have it done. So those laundry services, put in there. And then you have some extra rows here where you can add extra things that maybe I didn't include in here. Next up is your business mileage log. This is really super simple. You're going to put the date in, whatever your beginning odometer reading is as of today when you start your trip. And then when you return back home from that trip, you're going to write that number in there for your ending odometer. Your purpose. So let's say you were buying back bar supply or you went to the beauty supply house. Just put that in there, and then your total business miles. That way, at the end of the year, you can just add all those business miles up and add that directly to your tax return or your worksheet for your tax professional. I've also included a list of labels for you to use in your filing cabinet, just so you can keep your receipts and whatnot organized. And then last but not least, we're going to go over the actual workbook that you're going to hand to your tax professional. This in particular, I usually make several copies of, and I like to use it on a monthly basis as well. And then I'll redo a special one just for the end of the year where everything goes on there totally completed. This first page really is just for the tax preparers, notes so that this information is easily accessible. It's right on the main page. It tells everything that they need to know in order to get your taxes started. And we're going to start right off with sources of income. So at the end of the year or the end of the month, however you want to do it, however you want to use this workbook, you're going to add your gross total sales from services. Do not include sales tax or products. If you're in a state that charges sales tax on services, you're not going to include the sales tax. We don't charge sales tax on services here in Washington State, but absolutely on products we do. So first will be gross income from services. Next would be product sales. Again, you're not going to include the sales tax. Total gift card sales, total commissions received. So if another therapist pays you a commission for any reason, or if you are earning a commission on any kind of retail sales, affiliate links, that sort of thing, you're going to put that money total there. And then rental income received. Because I own my spot and the girls pay me rent, I put my rental income received right there. Other income, if you're a massage therapist and you do any insurance work, insurance companies are going to send you a 1099 at the end of the year. I do a little bit of that work as well as I do contract work for professional makeup services for TV and advertising. So anytime I do any of those gigs, they also pay me and give me a 1099 at the end of the year. So there you're going to list all of those with their income and who they're from. Down below, we're going to do our cost of goods sold. So starting January 1st, our beginning inventory value, so the wholesale value, let's say you have $10,000 worth of wholesale value product on your shelves beginning January 1st. Then you're going to add in all your total wholesale purchases for the year. Okay? Wholesale cost of products given as gifts to clients. So anything that you give away for free, you're going to put the cost there. And then returns and allowances that you're not compensated for. So one of the companies that I work with, if a client returns a product to me, I can return it to the company and they'll replace it to me for free. So if you're not compensated in that way for those returned products, then put all those dollar amount right there. And then on December 31st, your ending inventory value. Now we're going to get right into expenses. I've broken this down a little bit just to get your kind of juices flowing about, oh yeah, that's advertising, that's advertising. Just so you can see all the different things that you should be thinking about when it comes to all these different categories. So advertising, we're talking everything from business cards, labels, stationery, booth space for fairs and shows, flyers, Facebook, Instagram ads, Google or other digital ads. And then I left a space there for any other kind of advertising dollars you might have spent that aren't on the list. Bad debts, including this is the amount that's included in your gross sales, but it's non-collectible. So for instance, if somebody writes you a bad check and you're unable to collect that, you're going to put that dollar amount there. Or unpaid, denied PIP or insurance claims, that happens more often than you would think. So anytime that you have an insurance claim or for whatever reason you did services and you're unable to claim to get the money for those services, you can claim that amount here. And then again, I left you another space in case there's others. Bank charges. We're talking monthly statement charges for annual fees on credit cards that you might hold that you use for business. And then, of course, your credit card processing fees. They will send you a statement at the end of the year showing every penny they took for processing your credit cards. Commissions, gift card payouts to others, total amounts paid out. So anytime that you are responsible for paying out any kind of commission, you're going to put that there. our girls here, we accept gift cards, and so they'll put those on a little log, and then I'll pay them out monthly for any kind of gift cards that they did services for. Dues and subscriptions: membership dues to business organizations, subscriptions to business-related magazines. If you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, for example, those dues would be added there. Freight and postage, that's pretty straightforward. Any kind of freight or postage charges that you incur, you're going to add there. Insurance. Here we're talking about our professional liability insurance. If you buy self-employment health insurance or any other kind of liability or business insurance. Interest paid on all loans to purchase business, property, or equipment. So let's say you bought a computer or copier and you're making payments on that. Any of the interest that you paid. Credit card interest paid to purchase inventory. Rent, booth space rent paid to others. So like here, I have a lease, and what I pay on that lease to my landlord at the end of the year, I'm going to put that there. Legal and professional fees are for attorneys, accountants, any kind of thing like that. Office expenses. So this is things that you're going to use to fill your office with furniture, copiers, things like that. We're also going to include down here our utilities, and you can just put those all together. Repairs, costs of repairs to business equipment. Annual amounts contributed to IRA, that's under our retirement plan contributions, if you have a Roth IRA or other retirement contributions. Supplies. Here you're going to list your back bar purchases separate than what you're listing your secondary service items, just to keep it straight. And then we have our other packaging materials. Like here we sell a lot of retail in our spa, and so when they buy anything retail, we have little bags and ribbons and tissue paper that we decorate it all up with, so it looks very festive out the door. Next up is travel expenses. You're going to put all of your lodging, parking fees, Ubers or taxis, food, airfare. And then along with your travel expenses, a lot of times it's going to come continuing education classes. So you can group all those together, whatever you've paid throughout the year, and put those on there. Business meals and entertainment. Taking clients and potential clients for meals or festivities. Receipts are required, as well as dates, time, and place, and individuals attending the meal, as well as purpose for such. I understand that in 2022, they're going to do away with that, but it's still a legal deduction. So as long as it is, we're going to keep using it. Taxes, unrecoverable sales tax on goods purchased, cellular phone expenses. And again, I just put that on there because I, for some reason, just kept overlooking my cell phone bill. I guess it was just too automatic. Other expenses. Here I left you a few lines where you can list any other expenses that you had. And then down below that, I put our PPE, direct COVID-19 related expenses, our professional licenses, laundry services. And then these last couple of pages is all about your home office expense. Most of us use part of our home as a home office. So this little worksheet just takes you through how you can decide what percentage of your house or household expenses can be deducted for the use of your home. And then down at the very bottom, again, is our automobile odometer reading, January 1st and December 31st, total miles driven, and miles driven just for business. And then on our last page, it's just listed for other expenses and any notes you want to make about next year, any notes that you maybe have questions or concerns for your tax person, you can just list them there. And the last thing I just want to talk to you guys about is paying your quarterly taxes. If you last year owed more than $1,000 for your annual tax return, you are required then to file quarterly taxes so that your tax burden isn't so large at the end of the year. So in the course, I've included the link for you to download this little packet of information that comes directly from the IRS. It is your Form 1040-ES, and it walks you through exactly how you get set up for paying your quarterly taxes.